The only real God is the one that you believe in. Start looking for the God in others. And if you find you're tuning into a wave, well then I don't know much about being saved.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, friends.
Welcome into another episode of Spiritual Philosophy Chatter with the Joneses. I'm Danny Jones.
And I am Samantha Jones.
And here we are, episode 65.
65.
What is the topic?
This is Astrology for Beginners by Beginners.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know really anything about it other than looking in the newspaper and reading horoscopes.
Honestly, until like 5 days ago, neither did I. So I'm very much a beginner. It's very confusing, so I'm going to do my best.
Cool. Well, I'm interested to learn.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's an interesting concept.
Well, before we jump into this episode, anything from last week?
I do. I have something a little funny from last week. So last week we did Mysteries of the Universe. And this is from one of our listeners, Christy. She said, I always thought our planet would get sucked into a black hole and that's how it would end. Now I'm just worried about the sun exploding. Oh, yeah, because if you didn't hear it, we did say in that episode that that's logically how it's going to happen.
Pretty much.
But it's not just going to all of a sudden one day the sun's going to decide to just go boom. That's not how it works.
It's going to take a long time.
Yeah, it takes a long time. It goes through a process. And if you look it up, you can see scientists are saying I think it's like millions of years out.
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry about the sun exploding, Christy. That used to be one of my biggest fears, too.
At least not in your lifetime.
Not in your lifetime. Yeah. So, yeah, it'll happen someday, but probably a long, 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 long time from now.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody will be living on this planet by then because it'll be too hot.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's all I had that came in from last week, but it was a good episode. You found something interesting. You were talking about black holes yesterday. Do you remember anything about that? Something about that they don't think it would kill you if you went through a black hole?
Well, they've done simulations. Physicists in labs have done simulations. That's pretty much, I think, how they really study them and how they behave. But showed that it's very possible to be a portal.
Yeah.
From one place to... They just don't know where do you end up on another side of the galaxy, or do you end up in a whole nother galaxy?
I want to know.
And there was something else, too, about that, and I don't remember. It's escaping me right now. But
that's okay. If you remember, tell us later.
They're there for a reason, and they're not, scary because they're black and they're supermassive, or they're not. There's all different kinds. So they believe that the rotating ones are the portals, I believe.
The biggest, the ones, the supermassive black holes. I
did saw something. I read another one where they're photographing with X-ray, like our galaxy, the Milky Way, at a horizon, so it looks virtually flat.
I saw that.
Not spiral. Mm-hmm. But you can see the center, and they say that's supermassive black hole that's kind of been, what they said, dieting, not munching a lot lately, and now all of a sudden it's like gorging.
Uh-oh.
So.
Well.
But again.
Not in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to know what's on the other side. I hope that they figure out like a way to actually maybe put a camera in there or do something that we could know, because that's one of my favorite mysteries is what's on the inside of the black hole.
Yeah, I think that should be like a focus of, instead of sending people to go die right off the bat, let's go send a camera.
Right, exactly.
Or some sort of transmitter.
You would think that they already would have tried that, but maybe there's some, I don't know.
Maybe the amount of gravity just crushes it.
I have no clue, but they need to figure it out.
But I mean, we can make cameras so small.
I know. They'll figure it out, I'm sure, someday.
All right.
So, anyways, that's it from last week.
Cool. All right, well, episode 65. Astrology for beginners by beginners.
And we're stressing the by beginners.
Yeah.
So, I really, honestly, up until the beginning of this week, I knew nothing about astrology at all. I have never had my chart done. I don't follow horoscopes. It's just not something I've really been into. But I did feel like for my job, it might be a good idea to at least have some kind of a basic knowledge of astrology. So I decided to take a course on Udemy. And that course was very confusing. Wouldn't recommend the one I took. The guy talked very fast. It was very, very confusing. But then I went on YouTube, and that's like the greatest place. Like I found the guy that actually I got most of my information from. His site is amazing. It's called masteringthezodiac.com. And so he had videos of how to exactly read the charts. And so everything that like we're going to go over today, pretty much I got off of there and bits and pieces.
Did you say Udemy?
Udemy. It's
Udemy.
Udemy. It's an app.
Oh, okay.
And I take a lot of courses on there. That's how, like, when you see I get the certificates,
right.
I take all those courses on there. And it's like, okay, with this one, great. I have now a certificate saying that I have taken a beginner's course in astrology, but I didn't learn much from that one. It was just more confusing than anything else.
Yeah.
It's a very, very confusing subject.
And it's a little bit complicated, right?
It's very complicated.
Interwoven with different tables or things to tell timeline or whatever.
Like literally the stuff that we're going to talk about today scrapes the very top of the surface of the subject. Like there's so many things inside these charts that can mean little different hidden things, different symbols.
Right.
It's very, very complicated. So I figured today this is really all I know is I'm just going to focus on like the basics and that stuff. So there'll probably be a lot of paper shuffling. I apologize. I have a lot of papers here. A lot. So if I lose you myself or something too, it'll be picked
We'll
up.
figure it out.
Yeah. So anyways, let's say the definition first. What is astrology? Astrology is a metaphysical science that involves the forecasting of earthly and human events through the observation and interpretations of the fixed stars, the moon, sun, and planets. You know, we scientifically know that the moon has a pull on our tides.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how we can think that that's where it ends.
Right. That
these planets and their alignment with us and our planet, how they don't somehow impact the things that are going on around us. I definitely feel like they do.
And it's funny because you look at modern civilization, and I think we're like one of the first civilizations that has not used the stars and the heavenly bodies up there as some sort of either guide to what they were mapping out, you know, like pyramids, for instance, or influence on something. You know what I mean? Whether a lot of these societies based their lives on what was going on out there.
Right. Absolutely.
And we are totally just like, man, it's
oblivious.
That's a bunch of hogwash.
Yeah, I could tell you that I've seen the effects of the full moon on, like, when my grandma she had dementia. There's something about it, something about the way that pull makes you feel. She always freaked out at the full moon. It's not a joke.
Right.
I don't know how it works, but, you know, so when you think about that and then you think about, well, that's just the moon. How does everything else around me affect me?
Yep.
How do this is more about reading the planets, where they are, in your what do you call it, zodiac sign. Okay, mostly where they were when you were born. That's what the astrological charts for the most part focus on, where the planets and everything was on the day that you were born, at the time that you were born. Later I'm gonna go over yours, and most of it you don't know, and then you can kind of say if this relates to you or not.
Cool.
I think a lot of people, when they think of astrology, they go straight to horoscopes like you see in the newspaper or, you know, wherever. And that is a very small part. And one of the things that I kind of did this week was I tested a lot of different things with the horoscopes. I looked actually at ours from yesterday, which I can read, and we can see if they're similar to what happened yesterday. But I went through a lot of different sites and I looked at a lot of different horoscopes, and in my honest opinion, I don't feel that those are really super accurate.
Right.
I got a book called The Book of Birthdays. Chelsea recommended this book. It's by Russell Grant. And I put this up on our discussion page and also on my private Facebook, and I asked people to give me their birthday. and then to I took a picture of what's in this book of their birthday,
Right.
and I shared it to them,
Right.
and I said, read this and tell me if this sounds like you, right? So I wanted to start actually with reading yours,
Okay.
just a little bit of it, because
there's a couple things here. Like, first, if we can talk about like the horoscopes in the paper, like
Yes.
you were mentioning. I used to be a fan of it when I was young, like a teenager. Just thought it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But how could I be the only person, not just within that sign,
right.
but in the world that might be able to relate to that? What they just said. It's pretty general.
It's very general.
So it's what you're getting into is way more in depth than that.
It is. The birthdays are the reason why I like to go over the birthdays is because they're one step deeper than like the ones you see in the paper and stuff, because these are specifically down to your birthday, right?
Right.
Which is even a larger group, or a smaller group. So you're trying to relate more and more to that.
Right.
When you do your own birth charts, you're actually using your year. So these we're not even using years for it. We're just generalizing that everybody with this birthday has these characteristics. And I think that that's way too broad to say that.
Yeah.
Because we're all very different. The other thing that I have found is that a lot of this, it does relate to, some things relate to you and some don't. I actually took statistics here of the listeners in our group that did this experiment for me. Mm-hmm. And I would say, let's see. So it's pretty spread across the board. Yes, no, same, or some or most. Does this relate to you? Yes, no, some of it does, or most of it does.
Right.
It's really spread
That was my
right across the board.
My second point about that is, like, I used to read those and be like, oh, okay, I could relate to that.
Right, exactly.
But maybe there's a Leo or a Libra or a Taurus or a Sagittarius that can relate to that as well.
Yes.
Is it just Gemini, or am I, people reading into this? But then also part of it is kind of like what this book.
Yeah.
You have to be honest.
Right.
So if they are kind of describing you, and maybe not in the best light in some of these spots,
right,
you still have to, in order for it to be true, you have to be honest.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I just found like that. I actually have it here. Let me get it out. This is a good point to make. When doing that course online on Udemy, they did kind of break down every single zodiac sign and what their qualities are and all of that. So, like, for example, let's see. You are a Gemini. So this is what it says about you in here. It says that you're most compatible with Libra, Aquarius, and Leo, and least with Pisces and Scorpio. You're artistic, easily bored, nervous, witty, logical. You have logical thoughts. You're curious about life. You're the scenario type. Flighty. You get a lot of butterflies. Good sense of humor. Conversationalist. A lot of Geminis are teachers and mischievous. So that's yours.
That's pretty accurate, I would say, yeah.
But I can relate to a lot of these myself.
Yeah.
I can take a lot of these. I can take nervous.
But you're on the cusp.
Take easily bored. Yes, I am on the cusp. So maybe I'm not a good...
The cusp of Gemini and what?
Cancer.
Cancer, okay.
But you're not. So let me read you mine, and then you can maybe see if you relate to any of these.
Okay.
I am most compatible with Scorpio. Like you said, I'm a Cancer.
All right.
Scorpio, Pisces, Taurus, and Virgo, and least with Aries, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. And it's funny because my mom's a Taurus, and my brother, I think my brother's a Virgo, and Marina is a Pisces, I believe.
But does it say you match well with Gemini?
It doesn't say anything about that one.
And neither, mine doesn't say
No.
that either. That's interesting.
Yeah. We're not really, like, in this way, super compatible, but it's not extreme either. Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. Nurturing, protective, moody, security conscious, highly values home life, relies on feelings to make decisions, passive, subtle, reflect the moods around them, hold on to the past a lot, benefit by becoming aware.
Oh, that's you.
But
not me.
You don't think so? You don't take some things from here?
Read it one more time. What?
Okay, well, the You can be moody like me.
Yeah, everybody can be moody.
Exactly. See, so that's general. Okay. Security conscious. Who isn't security conscious? Don't we all kind of want to, I don't know. That seems general to me. Highly value home life. That seems very general to me.
It's not so much the attributes themselves. It's the combination of the ones chosen.
Right.
That make up this particular type. So I would say, I mean, yeah, I can relate to some of them,
right.
But when I look at them as a whole,
right,
I get more of a sense of you.
Well, let's do another experiment here. Let's use a sign that maybe neither one of us really know anything about because we don't have anybody so much in that sign. I'm going to take. You don't know a bunch of Leos, I don't think, do you? I don't think. July 23rd to August 22nd.
I do know one, yeah.
Okay, Virgo. Let's do Libra. How's Libra?
I know a Libra.
Are close. Come on, let's talk really close.
Yeah.
Okay. Capricorn.
Nope.
Okay.
That I know of.
Let's do that.
All right.
That's December 22nd to January 19th.
Okay.
So this is for you two Capricorns. This is what it says about you. But we're also trying to see what we take from this because this isn't either one of us.
Right.
Okay. Ambitious, practical, socially responsible, over-concerned with social life, quest for prestige, insecure, puts themselves under pressure, aloof, has low self-esteem, and is hardworking. I have a lot of those.
Yeah, those are human traits.
Right.
So it's... Yeah,
that's
it
where
gets
it's
a little
like,
bit...
Mm-hmm. I really do feel that with the birth charts, the astrological charts, that those are really accurate.
More accurate.
This kind of stuff, I feel like it is very general. It could reach a lot of people, but you are trying to reach a lot of people.
Right.
You know? Another kind of experiment here that I did was...
But some people could say that too about like tarot cards. And that
yes.
their messages can be very general and you have to sort of apply them to your life.
Yes, that is absolutely right with the tarot cards. It's a little bit different though, I think. You know, with those, usually if there is something that's going on in your life, those cards will be pretty specific to that. You may still
they're
have
accurate.
Yeah. So that to me is kind of different. But this is from yesterday. This is your horoscope from yesterday.
Okay.
I found this on astroyogi.com.
All right.
As Moon is in Pisces, you could strike a lucrative real estate deal, predicts Astro Yogi astrologers. The benefits of this planetary movement will be felt by businessmen, as this is an excellent time for you to expand your business. This will indeed be a fruitful time for you to move ahead with your full efforts. You may want to invest in some property today. All is well, and you will feel enough of a fulfilling day ahead. Plan anything important between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. for best results. Blue is your lucky color for today. I would say that horoscope for you for yesterday is a big fat
yeah. Yeah.
So there, okay, then let's look at mine because I haven't read mine either. That's why I did this, because I figured if I'm going to come on here and talk about today's horoscopes, we don't know what's happened yet today, but this way we can kind of look back and see, like, you know, most people I think read their horoscope in the morning for what's the day ahead. And if somebody puts something in your head that it's going to happen, it might happen through the day, or you might grab a hold onto anything. So I like this looking back and kind of in retrospect, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So this says... as Moon moves in Pisces, this is for Cancer, by the way. As Moon moves in Pisces, you may feel the need to prioritize the things that matter the most to you today. You would want to strike a balance between your personal and professional life. At times, you may have found that one aspect has suffered due to your excessive focus on the other. Use this day to think and plan on what to do to efficiently manage both your work as well as your family. Your luckiest hour lies between 10 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. Wear blue for luck. You also got wear blue for luck. Yesterday was not... I didn't work much yesterday. I don't really take a whole lot from this except the prioritizing your family. But again, it's so general.
Yeah.
You know? It's really general.
Yeah.
I'd like to know, like, our listeners, and we're going over mostly the Gemini and Cancer that we are. If you're Gemini or Cancer and this relates to you, let us know.
Yeah.
Or even if you're a different sign and you're like, yeah, I could take that, then let us know, because we're kind of, showing a pattern here.
For sure.
I did ask our readers what if they do read their horoscopes, and 70% said sometimes they do. And I admit I do sometimes, every once in a while, just for entertainment. Working for Cassandra, they do send me an email every day that has it, but...
I do sometimes, yeah.
It's more for entertainment, I think. And then I also asked them, do you believe in astrology? And most said a little. So I think a lot of people are kind of on the same wavelength here with me. That to myself, I've kind of been trying to prove, whether this is a real thing or not. And my finding at this point is that I do believe, like I said, that the birth charts are very accurate.
Right.
And we'll talk about that.
I believe that it definitely plays a role.
Yeah.
In our higher consciousness, the acknowledgement of where certain heavenly bodies are at certain times.
Right.
It has an effect on us. So I know that there's a deeper meaning. I just don't really know enough about it.
Right.
But based on, like I said, past civilizations, Aztecs and the Mayans, I mean, these people were charting the stars and using them.
Yes.
In ways. So I have to go, there's definitely answers.
There is. We may just not have cracked them yet. We may just be opening this up. I mean, it's been something, like you said, that's been around forever. But our kind of society, we don't use it so much.
Right.
So maybe we do need to open it up and work on it more, and we'll find more.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be a lot more to this.
Like, this work is really intriguing. I find it very interesting. However, on the grand scheme of things, I feel like it's like the intermediate level of what this all really means. Right,
exactly. Well, let's talk about the birth chart.
Cool.
Because there's a lot that goes into the birth charts. So, like I said, I've never had one of these done. So I kind of did. I haven't even really done my own. I did yours now that I've been working on this. But we did have an astrologer, a friend of ours, do one for our dog, Sabbath.
Which was amazing.
It was amazing. And she doesn't consider herself to be an animal communicator or to be able to communicate like that.
Right.
She says that she gets all of her information from the chart itself. I tend to believe she probably gets some of it from the animal themselves, that she is picking up their energy.
Right.
But a lot of it, after doing this, I could definitely see how you can pick those little things about somebody out. This, like I said, this is so new to me that I probably won't explain this completely right, but that's okay, because I am starting.
It's okay.
So with the astrological chart, it's basically a round chart, and on the outside of it, it has all of the zodiac signs. Let me find yours. It is here somewhere. So what you were doing in the chart is they're looking at the exact time that you were born. Well, mine is. You didn't know the exact time you were born. So yours is just based on your day. Okay, here's yours. So on the outside, we have all of the 12 astrological signs. And then there's an inside circle that is called the houses. And what the houses are is it's 12 areas that each represent something about you, something in your life, something that you're going to face, or different things, your personality, your work life, your home life, all kinds of possible predictions for your future of the way that things are going to go.
Right.
It would be interesting to see charts that were done when on a child with this, and then how things kind of, went along like that.
Right.
And the way that this is figured out is by the planets and their positioning within the astrological signs at the time that you're born. So let's see where to start with this. So each house represents something different. So the first house represents matters relating to self-awareness and asserting your will in the world. This is where they say that most of your personality is. And so for you, your ruling planet in there was the sun. And the sun is the biggest, the sun and the moon are the biggest things, rulers of us,
Got it.
basically. Hold
They're
on.
like
I
the
want
king
to
and
find
queen.
Something else here. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Okay. So, I think that the word houses is confusing. I don't really know why they use that. I think when you hear that, you're like, well, what's a house? It's just a section of the zodiac. See how it's like all broken up into 12 sections?
Got it.
That's each zodiac sign.
Right.
So basically, each house is the different zodiac sign, so to speak, I suppose. There's a lot more to this than what I'm going to talk about. You can read somebody's chart by where all of their planets sit. Like, if you look at your chart, yours are pretty evenly distributed here, right? You only have 1, 2, 3 houses that have absolutely nothing in them.
Huh.
But some people have all theirs here or all theirs here, like different places around, like all on one side but yours are spread out pretty evenly. So that's a certain type of
I wonder if that's where the
chart.
phrase well-rounded.
Yeah, that could be, huh?
That's an interesting concept.
I think with a lot of it, yes, but a lot of it touches on your experiences too, which definitely shows that you have a lot of well-rounded experiences in your life too.
Right.
So, let's see. So the first house, like I said, the sun is the ruler of that house for you. So that means that you're strong, passionate, creative, and expressive, which you are.
Yeah.
Let's see. The second house is, values of material values, possessions, those types of things, your drives and ambitions, but more related to like the material aspect of it. So when an astrologer is looking at this and they're trying to kind of predict your future, I can see where they would go with this. Like, so I look up South Node is what is ruling that for you. And I don't even know what that is, but that's like the ruling planet or whatever. Uh-huh. So when an astrologer does this, then they would look at, okay, well, this is the South Node is ruling this. So what does that go for with the drives and material possessions? And the things that go with that are letting go of unhealthy patterns, becoming spiritual and liberating. Something that clicked with me during this is that, and I don't know because, like I said, I'm new to this, so this could already be knowledge. To me, this seems like you're setting up for yourself what you're reincarnating to do. Does that make sense? So this chart is telling you what you're here for. These are the lessons that you're supposed to learn is kind of what I took from it. Because it really does. It's telling you your future. It's telling you these different things. And why would we do that?
Right.
Well, maybe to help ourselves along.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I don't know. That was just kind of something that clicked with me.
Huh.
By the way, Danny's birthday is June 14th. So if anybody that's listening has that same birthday, then this chart would apply to you as well.
Right.
Because I didn't do it by birth time. Oh, but it does do birth location, so never mind, I lied.
Right.
So it is very, very specific. So then we go over to your fourth house, which is your home life, your family life, your relationship with your mother, the opposite sex parent is what holds in here. And with that, your ruling planets are Pluto and Uranus. Pluto tells us that there's deep emotions in this relationship.
Right.
There's deep emotional attachment, but there's a lot of loss involved with that attachment.
Yeah.
And new beginnings within that relationship. This could also be, in addition to the relationship with your mother, this could be your first marriage as well, because it is that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Uranus talks about freedom and change and revolution, breaking free. Which is what you did ultimately. Yeah. So you can see how that kind of fits in there with, your life, you're growing up with your mom and then moving on. Right. And that's why there's 2 planets that are showing you the 2 different things, 2 different parts of your life. Right. Reading the astrology charts, there's way more to it that I don't know about. Yeah. That talks about the position exactly of the planets inside of here. Whether it's on the outside, on the inside. So I'm just doing like a basic here. I'm not doing all of those those things because I don't know about those.
It's incredible how deep,
Well, look inside here too. See all those little, inside of these charts, there's a lot of lines.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of symbols. And all of those symbols mean different things. And those symbols are like a degree of how these things will happen in your life. So there's, again, so many ways. Let's see, I'll give you an example here. The little triangles that you see in the middle there, that represents harmony and support. So I guess that's an area of harmony and support in your life. And then the squares are a challenge, things that are going to be a challenge.
Right.
So you see, you can get so deep on these, so deep.
Does it matter like how many you see? Because I see more triangles than I see squares.
I'm assuming that that's just telling you what those areas are. You know, like I just said, where did I put that list? It tells you, okay, so what do you have most of?
I see more triangles.
More triangles. So that means that area of your life is going to be easier. The conjunctions, which are one line with one circle, is neutral. The two circles with the line in between is a challenge in your life. The triangle is an easier part of your life. The squares are a challenge, and then the little, what do you call those, star sign?
Asterisk looking.
That's another easy part of your... And then you can also do this mathematically with degrees.
I have very little asterisks.
Do you? Yeah.
Well, I have less asterisks than everything else.
Yeah. I definitely think that this was not... For you, when you came back, you didn't choose an easy life. You weren't like, I'm just going to cakewalk it through this. You've had a lot of struggle and have had to work really hard.
And I've almost like said things about my life, predicted them in advance.
Yeah, for sure.
And they've happened.
They have. For me, like, I've always known that I was going to write a book, and I haven't done it yet. But my whole life, I've told people, I'm going to write a book. Yeah. I'm going to do it. I didn't know what the book was going to be about. But, you know, I always knew that I would, and so I definitely believe that, you know, these types of things are possible. Okay, so then let's see. So you have nothing in your fifth house, but your fifth house, which is funny because that's creativity.
Oh, but one thing about that, too, was all the circles with the lines on the outside, or, you know, the circle in between the two lines, they're all in the middle.
What do you mean?
Of that chart.
On this part right here?
No.
Show me what you mean.
All those.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I haven't even gotten into what those
People are
lines
like, what
mean.
are they talking about? We can't see this.
Right, yeah. Sorry. I haven't gotten into this, but I can see that those two areas that line is connecting, all those lines are connecting, are the two houses where you have the most planets in them. Huh. So I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
So we'll have to, once I learn more and more, we'll have to do a follow-up on this.
Yeah.
Because really, I have no idea what those things mean yet. So I'm just trying to learn the astrology chart. And you know what? I'm going to present this right now, that the first person that hears this and emails me, I'll do your chart for you.
Cool.
So email is spiritualjoneses@gmail.com. Because it's easy for me to do a chart for you. Like, I can see, okay, well, you know, there's a bunch of things here and he fits this. But with somebody I don't know, it's like totally starting fresh. Yeah. And that seems really like a cool experiment for me. Then we could talk about that next week.
Cool.
So let's see how much more of this, though, you find relatable. Because I didn't read most of this to you. This is the first time you're hearing it. So you can give our listeners a good review of if this is accurate for you or not.
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at the next house. Where's my chart here? So your fifth house, like I said, that one's empty. Your sixth house talks about, this is health and well-being. You being in the service profession, helping others. This, for you, has two big planets. It has Neptune and Jupiter.
Oh, those are big.
They are big.
Jupiter is big.
Yes. They're both in retrograde, too, at this point, which I'm not really sure what that means. I meant to look it up. But that could be an extra special kicker because they know when they say something's in retrograde, we're all like, get under the desk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really listen to that.
Saturn's in Gatorade.
Exactly.
Run.
Mm-hmm. Run. Okay. But in this about service to others, you have spiritual growth, faith, compassion, visions. Jupiter is one of the planets that I saw that was weaker for you. Like, you can judge which planets are stronger and weaker depending where they are in this chart and relative to the sign.
Okay.
So this would show weaknesses for you in this one area, which would be worldview, being optimistic, that you can be difficult. You don't always believe what's possible. It also talks about envisioning things, but you do a good job of envisioning, so I wouldn't call that a weakness.
No, because the Jupiter one said different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that both of those are accurate.
Yes, I think so too. Your 7th house, which would be marriage and relationships, is empty. I don't see. This is a part where I'm like,
free. I'm kidding.
Shut up. I don't understand why it's empty, because I'm your second wife. You've had a lot of relationships. You've had a lot of coworkers. That's one thing that I'm like, wait, what? I don't know. Maybe it's just not a major area of focus, but it sure seems like it's been a major area of focus in your life. So.
I'm with you every day.
Yeah. Well, and then you were married for a long time, so it's not like you were single your whole life, you know?
No, I was in that relationship 18 years.
Yeah. So if there's an astrologer or somebody that does this that's listening that can tell us why that house is empty, we would love to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, who's got an explanation for this chart?
Right. No. I just think it's funny.
I still love you.
Because I'm not in your chart? No. Okay. So let's see. The 8th house is, let's see. I can't see in here. My vision is so bad. You have, this is sexuality, death, and exploration. That seems like a big one. And you have 2 planets, so to speak, in here. You have Mars and what they call the North Node. And Mars says that you're self-determined and will attain victory. And the North Node says that in this area you will have a lot of growth and thrill and eagerness, cravings, and personal, I can't even read my own writing, personal development. Cool. And you will learn to be healthy in this area. And I would agree with that, because you have learned, this was a big area for you, like the death part especially. You had a lot of fear of death before this came along.
Yes.
Our spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
So this definitely shows, if you look at it, that this is something that you grow and you fix. That, and same with like sexuality and exploration, like, and as your life has gone on, these are areas that you've delved into more and more.
Right.
And that's what it's showing, that you're going to have growth in those areas.
That's cool.
I think that's pretty accurate. The 2 things that they say are the biggest rulers of our astrological charts are the sun and the moon. And in the next house, which is your intuition, religion, education, and travel, that's where the moon holds for you.
Seems like an appropriate place for it.
I think so. It shows in this area that there is a lot of emotion and concern, insecurity, and nurturing in that area, which definitely, that's been another big area of you for religion and, education.
Yeah.
Is learning to make your own mind up and your own decisions about religion and using your intuition to do so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see, the next one is, this is connected to your career. This is house 10. I wish I could read my own writing. This is your relationship with your father as well, the opposite sex parent. And this is Chiron, and I'm not really sure what Chiron is. I believe that it's a planet after Pluto that we don't recognize as a planet, but it may be something else. Right. I just know that a lot of astrologists don't even recognize it.
Okay.
So, but this one is in, let's see, in your 10th house. And like I said, your 10th house is about your career, your relationship with opposite sex parent, public life. So with that one, you, where is it? You're healing wounds in that area. There's a lot of over and under compensation in that area, but rejuvenation as well. And I think that definitely fits, because with your relationship with your father, with your career, all of it. You've had a lot of wounds in those areas that you've had to heal.
Yeah.
And there has been a lot of like over and under compensation for that. I can definitely see where that makes sense.
Right.
And rejuvenation, because your relationship with your father is so much better than it was when you were a child.
Right.
So I think that really shows in that area that, like, if this would have been done when you were a child, that it would show that kind of relationship was going to be hard, but it was going to get better.
Right.
Is kind of what I take from it.
Right. And in the sense of the career, too, because I chose a new path.
Yes, exactly.
So.
Yeah. And these are really like basic. Like you can get into your birth chart. The place that I got this from that I had mentioned, Mastering the Zodiac, they really go into detail with it. I just took things from it to, simplify it.
Right.
Let's see. House 11, you do not have anything. And that one is about group goals, objectives. In 12, you have 3 different planets. You have Saturn, Venus, and Mercury. And what's interesting is that Venus is a very feminine energy. And this is about the unconscious mind, dreams, karma, things like that, confinement. So looking at this says that with Saturn, you, in this area of like karma and the subconscious mind, you will work on strengthening your life and hard work and having discipline in that area. Let's see. We started talking at this point when I was writing these notes. And so I totally didn't put on here what, let's see, Venus and Mercury are, but I can tell you because I have them right here.
Awesome.
I am very organized here with my paper clips. Okay, Venus. So Venus is connecting to who and what we value, material and interpersonal enjoyment. So when you look at karma and the unconscious mind, that kind of tells me that you're aiming towards that, which is what you're doing. You're using you're getting good karma. You're putting good karma out there.
Right.
It also talks about desire, enjoyment, connectedness, and attraction.
Yeah.
Let's see, what was the third planet was Mercury. Mercury talks about interactive learning, curiosity, insights, interactivity, practicality, giving and receiving information.
Yeah.
So I would say that this is pretty accurate for you.
It's pretty darn accurate. Even that interactivity, like when I think in the sense of this, like what we're doing here, you know me. I'm not really one to sit and like, I'm going to read a book on how to do this.
Right.
I
No.
just don't.
No.
I'd rather get frustrated
Yes.
with a hands-on approach.
Are you going to read those instructions? No.
No.
You're just going to wing it, huh?
And,
Yeah.
so when it comes to, learning this aspect of my life as far as trying to record things, and that's been a learning process, but it's the interactiveness with the people that I have around me,
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it's all beneficial. I'd say it's pretty accurate.
And that's so basic too. Like once I start learning more, I can get more and more in depth on this, which is what's cool. Like a lot of astrologists can just look at these charts and they can go, oh, the Venus was here. Venus was in your whatever. In Capricorn. I'm like, what? What does that mean? Venus was in Capricorn. I don't know what you're talking about. But now it makes a little bit more sense to me when I say that. And so now I'll be able to learn more, and maybe we do a part 2 and I'll be even better at this.
Have you done your own chart?
I have not done my
You
chart
should.
yet. I'm going to, yeah.
And I'll tell you if I think it's spot on.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. I wanted to do Marina's too.
She would love that.
Yeah,
probably.
that'd be cool. So yeah, we'll have to do that. And like I said, first person to email me and say they want me to do a chart for them, I will.
Cool.
So
That's a nice offer.
Yeah. So that's what I have with the charts and stuff. Let's see if there's anything else I can tell you. I figured that was going to take up so much of our episode. If you want to get into this more, I would definitely suggest YouTube. I love the Udemy courses, but if you don't want to use it for a profession, you don't need a certificate, you don't need to go there. YouTube is amazing. You can learn to do anything on YouTube. And like I said, the guy that I found, the one, let's see. Just so I can tell you again, give him credit, masteringthezodiac.com. I looked at a lot of sites and I read a lot of things and I got very confused. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos, but this was the one that I found that I felt like, okay, he's explaining it to me the way I need to hear it. Not with the, already saying Pisces is in, what moon is in Pisces or whatever.
Right.
Because I don't know what that means yet.
Right.
You need somebody that really breaks it down for you. And this guy, not only does he break it down, but he had if you click here, you can get a printout of all, everything that I printed out here is his. It shows all of the symbols. It breaks down all of the houses. He made this so easy for me. See all these? It talks about, this is the planet meanings, and it shows every planet and a basic of what their meanings are. So within his YouTube videos, he gives you links to click to do those. So I definitely highly recommend that. That helped me out a lot this week.
Nice. Yeah, you put a lot of work into it. Thanks.
I did.
Cool.
It helped me a lot too, because I did feel like I needed to know more on this subject. I get people sometimes that ask me, about astrology, and I'm like, I'm the wrong person to talk to about that. But with this, I kind of feel like I should be well-rounded, so.
You will be.
Learning, yep.
Yeah.
Learning, it's fun. I enjoy
cool.
it.
I think you did good.
Thank you. So, that's what I got for you today.
Cool. In an astrological kind of way.
Yes. Okay. I'll have more. We'll do a part 2.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
And you have your chart this time.
Yes, I will do mine.
But I will say that was pretty darn accurate.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't even have your birth time. So it might have been even more accurate with your birth time. I don't know. I don't know how much that plays a role in it.
Right.
I know that I accidentally put PM instead of AM in on mine and then noticed it and changed it, and it did drastically change. But, I don't know. It's still very accurate.
Right.
So.
Huh. Intriguing stuff.
It is very, yeah. So to sum it up, I believe the astrology charts, still the jury is out on the horoscopes and stuff, the daily horoscopes and the birthday horoscopes. The birthday book, I just decided not to read that. There's so much there we already read.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of it. I kind of wish I wouldn't have bought it.
I feel like
if anybody
the
wants
horoscopes
it.
is like the Inquirer of astrology. It's like the sensationalism of it, and I'm sure if you really got deep into what it read for you for that day,
right,
some of that might be in there, and it actually might be more relatable,
right,
more descriptive. But they're giving you a little paragraph,
exactly,
that so many people can read into. So.
Exactly, that's for sure. So, okay,
cool.
Yeah.
That was fun. You did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we sign off here for all our friends, you want to share your page?
Yes, let's do that. SamanthaJonesPsychicMedium.com is my website. You can find everything there. I'm working on my next blog entry. Hopefully it'll be done tomorrow or the next day and it'll be up.
Sweet.
But yeah, everything you can find is there.
Cool.
Everything you need is there.
Very nice. And for me, djonesartcollection.com. And for Facebook and Instagram at djonesartcollection. And for the music, gypsybrown.com for the web. For Instagram at gypsybrownmusic. And Facebook at gypsybrownband.
Yay.
And that's what I got. I think Rich just told me today that he's just about ready to start pumping us mixes of the first song to release. So
I'm excited to hear.
So we're getting close, and we're about to wrap up the second song. So
this is
getting there.
It's very exciting. It sounds so good. I can't wait for everybody to hear it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
It's been a long time coming.
Sounds really good. Yeah. These guys are incredible, man.
They really are.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so honored and privileged to be a part of it. So anyways, that's all I got.
Okie dokie.
Well, we hope everybody got something out of this.
Yes.
In some kind of astrological kind of way. Buffy.
Oh, and let's tell them next week what we're going to do.
What is it?
We're going to do conspiracy theories.
Oh.
Remember? I'm excited because there's a lot of conspiracy theories
Don't
right now.
get me started. We're going to freaking Linda Richmond this one. All right?
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we hope you guys have a great week.
Yep.
And until next week.
Peace and love.